right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for coming this morning. We really appreciate it. My name is Sadan Sanchez. I have the privilege of currently serving as the Acting Dean of Student Affairs here at San Diego City College. So again, thank you all for coming this morning. This is a hybrid event. So we have some of you here on campus at City College, and then we have some also online watching via the San Diego City College YouTube channel. So thank you all for joining us this morning. We are gathered here today to really pay honor to every veteran and also active member, especially those who are closer to our campus community here at City College. So I'd like to begin with a quote. It's an unknown source, but I wanted to share with all of you. For the veteran, thank you for your bravely doing what you're called to do so when we can safely do what we're free to do. So next, I'd like to introduce Command Sergeant Major Jerry Garcia and the Color Guard from San Diego High School, our neighbors, Asia ROTC, commanded by Cadet Major Roger Salazar and the other members of the Color Guard, Cadet Sergeant Mariana Marquez, Cadet Captain Ruby Montes, Cadet Captain Jet Brazo, and Cadet Sergeant Major Isaac Sanchez. For all of us here in person, I ask you to please stand. I'd like to now welcome Shelly Barajas Leyva, who will sing the national anthem. Shelly is a current counseling faculty from the Upward Bound program here at San Diego City College and is also a City College alum. Welcome, Shelly.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home Please, with me, put your hand over your heart and cite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Shelley, and thank you, San Diego High School. Next, I'd like to welcome our San Diego City College President, Dr. Ricky Shabazz, to give the formal welcome on behalf of City College.
Hello, everyone. Please join me in a round of applause for Shelley. That is one of the hardest songs, folks, to sing. She had me thinking, like, I wish I could sing. And you sang that song. It is so exciting to see you all here as we continue to transition back to campus. You know, I had no idea what to expect, but when I walked out here, I felt the energy. Shout out to our baseball team. Good to see you all here, getting back to in-person sports with spectators. Certainly, we want to honor and thank all of our veterans and their dependents. We have an amazing speaker later today. I want to wish the Marine Corps a happy birthday. Any veterans from the Marine Corps in the audience? Thank you for your service. Our speaker, we got it right. Adon, our speaker today is a veteran from the Marine Corps, a great speaker, a great leader in her own right. And so we're so excited to be here. Was touring the Veterans Center just the other day. We continue to expand our support for veterans, and Dora and her team are going to get some representation from the various branches of the military there. And so when we open the Veterans Center back up, as we'll be doing momentarily, make sure you stop by the Veterans Center and thank the dependents, thank the veterans, thank the members of the active service, members of our military for their sacrifices. I had a chance to do a Leader at Sea program and visit some of the Navy personnel on a battleship. And you want to talk about sacrifices. Put a 18, 19, 20-year-old on a ship at sea with no internet, no social media, no family members, and you'll really see the sacrifices that people in the military make in order for us to be able to come to college and play baseball and partake in the things that we do every single day. I was very fortunate to grow up in a household with two veterans, and I always credit my father, who was also in the Marines, spent the first 5 years of my life at Camp Pendleton, and my grandfather, who was in the Army, for instilling a level of discipline in me that still carries to today. And so when I look at and get a chance to meet with our veterans and active military, the first thing any of us should do is thank them and their families for their service, because it is a huge sacrifice that many of us will never truly understand. I see a number of our employees who our veterans. Don, want to thank you for your service. Certainly we have our Vice President of Administrative Services. John, thank you for your service. And thank every single member of the San Diego City College who is either an active member of the military or a veteran for your service. I am so ecstatic that you all took the time out of your day to come and honor our great veterans and the services that they have placed in their lives and for our lives to be able to have the things that we do in this great country that we live in. So I want to also ask you all to join me of a round of applause for Adon. Adon, you've done an amazing job. I'm sure that there are other members of our student affairs team that have helped, and so the facilities team for setting this up. And again, just want to honor our veterans and thank you all for being here. And Adon, I will bring you back up. Thank you all for being here. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Shabazz. Our theme for this year's celebration is Salute to Service through San Diego City College Community. And so you will be able to see from the screen, those of you in person and those of you on YouTube, you'll be able to see on the screen where we take some time to honor our San Diego City College members who are either active military or veterans. Thank you for your service and sacrifice. So we'll play that for a little bit so you can see a preview of some of our members. Let's give them a round of applause, please. We'll have this slide available as there's over 100 members who submitted their information to share with all of us. So if you get the opportunity to meet with them in person or via Zoom, please thank them for their service. For the next portion of today's event, we will hear from some of our San Diego City College members who are either veterans or currently serving, and share a little bit about who they are and how they are part of our community. So first, we have Dr. Yolanda Tanner, San Diego City College Foundation Board member, and I'll read a short bio of her. Yolanda has been in the Department of Defense for over 38 years in the capacity of a United States Marine Corps service member, Defense Contracted Systems Engineering and Civil Servant. She's an operational research analyst at a DoD research laboratory and the Naval Information Warfare Systems Command's STEM Federal Action Officer. In this position, she oversees that the Naval Information Warfare Center's Pacific and Atlantic invested the STEM funding and human capital to best benefit the local communities and the local military families. In the longer view, these investments ensure the inspiration and development of a talented and skilled future STEM workforce. As a military veteran, she served in the Marine Corps for over 17 years. Her journey started at Parris Island, South Carolina, and her duty stations have included Camp Lejeune, Okinawa, 29 Palms, and Camp Pendleton. Her service assignments and skill development have included traffic management specialist, aviation radio repair, aviation radio technician, drill instructor, electronics curriculum developer, and radio frequency tactical integration of government and commercial off-the-shelf technologies. She continues to embrace a complex problems and intersection of analysis, strategy, and action. Dr. Tanner has received a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Information Systems, a graduate certificate in counseling, a master's in education, and completed a doctorate at Northeastern University in Education with a dissertation emphasis in STEM. Please help me welcome Dr. Yolanda Tanner.
Thank you for having me. I will give a caveat to Northeastern University. I am completing my doctorate, so I would hate for the dissertation committee to give me a call on my phone while we're doing this. But thank you for having me. And I want to say to deans, directors, faculty members, staff, students, veterans, and families of all of those entities, thank you for having me here today to speak. I am truly honored. I will say, as the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math Director, I'm usually connecting people and organizations, and that's what I do 365 days, 24/7. So when I received the email and the call, I thought it was for, can you find us a veteran to speak? as we're having these conversations, they're like, no, you are the veteran that we want to speak. So I was really honored that the foundation and City College said, no, we want you to be the speaker for today. So I'm truly honored for this opportunity. And I will say that there is one request that I received from the president. Can you make it funny and lighthearted? Really? You're going to ask a Marine to make something funny and lighthearted? That's your only request. Okay, well, we'll try. I'll try to do that. I'll try to do that. So as I said to leadership, leadership says such small sentences that require so much effort. So, but I will try to stay lighthearted today. So today I'm calling and this is when you know what you're looking for from a leader. When they say, this will be brief, right? You're looking for lastly, right? So this will be brief, and I will try to preface my lastly. So today I'm calling my my approach the 18-year-old brain. And it's not your brain. I'm going to be telling you about my 18-year-old brain and how I became affiliated with the Marine Corps. And, I enjoy, my mother enjoys listening to the bio because it talks about accomplishments. As we get older, sometimes we look at the bio, but we're looking for where's the authenticity? What is the story behind the bio? So to me, the bio is the bio, but my 18-year-old brain is a whole nother story. So my family believed in education. They cherished education and family values. My family grew up in an African-American settlement in Southeast Texas, and we moved to California. We lived in Compton, California, and then as a high schooler, I moved back to Texas. Keeping with family tradition, the expectation was, if you're going to graduate from school, you have to be a top graduate. Check the box, top graduate, ready to go to college. I start college. I'm like, whoa, this is a little different than high school. A lot different from high school. So first semester, no problem. This is where my 18-year-old brain starts to come into play. Second semester, I'm hitting some rough patches. And I'm not recommending this as a course of action for anybody's life journey either. Okay, so that's the disclaimer. Second semester, hitting a few bumps in the road. And I should have gone to office hours. That's what I should have done. My 18-year-old brain didn't see it that way. My 18-year-old brain said, just keep going to school, because when you go home, you can say that you went to school. But my 18-year-old brain was at the rec center playing what was in pinball. So I started going to school and going to the rec center every single day for the second semester. In my family, you had to show a report card no matter how old you were. It was just a matter of a fact of life. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a lot of trouble, because if it's anything, if it's not an A or a B, my parents are not having it. So my 18-year-old brain said, why don't you join the service before report cards come out? I'm just being honest. Some people say I was born, with the Eagle Globe and anchor in my crib. I'm being honest. I'm like, I'm going to be in big trouble, and I better have a plan before my father and mother, because I'm living with them, see that report card. So recruiters are all in the same office building. This is what my 18-year-old brain decided to do. There's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps. I knock on the door. How soon can I get out of here? They say, Army says, oh, it's gonna be like 2 years, because we just have enough people. Navy, how soon can let's get down to brass tacks. I can pass those little placement tests. Let's just get down to the brass tacks. How long is it gonna take me to get out here? 18 months. Okay. This literally is how I did this. Literally. Air Force, he said, oh, it's gonna take a year at least. And I'm like, I'll be dead in a year. I'm gonna be dead in like 90 days, you know? This report card is coming down the pipe. Marine Corps recruiter, how long is it gonna take me to get out of here? 90 days. Winter, chicken dinner. That is literally, and I'm just being honest, everybody's journey is different. And I signed up to be in the Marine Corps. I'm like, I can get an education, I can go to college, come out in 3 years, and then continue with my life. I had no idea the journey that it would take me on. So 3 years turned into 4, 4 years turned into 6, 6 years turns into 10, and 10 turns into 15 and 17. And what I realized, which is what my family was probably trying to instill in me anyway, and what I realized, the Marine Corps has this acronym. They have a whole bunch of acronyms, but one of them is called JJ Did Tie Buckle. And it is something that some of us learn in school, some of us learn at home, some of us learn through sports. And for me, it resonated in the Marine Corps as part of who I was. And that is, you will be weighed and measured. But when you're in the military, you get weighed and measured in rapid order. It comes really quickly. So that stands for justice, judgment, dependability, integrity, decisiveness, tact, initiative, endurance, bearing, unselfishness, courage, knowledge, loyalty, and enthusiasm. So what we do in life will make us who we are, whether that's good or bad. However, going through that experience, I had that opportunity to understand perspective, understand problems, understand how to put things together with people from different perspectives. And I'll be honest, my 18-year-old brain didn't have that level of awareness. But back to my brain. I'm in the Marine Corps for about a decade. I guess now my 27-year-old brain has the bright idea of, hey, Yolanda, you should think about going back to school. I'm like, where were you when you convinced me not to be in school? Well, that was your 18-year-old brain. This is your other brain. So I'm like, going back to school. So I'll be honest, every degree that I received, it was a long road. I did it as an adult learner. Not saying that it's recommended for anyone else, and because it is but it tests you in commitment and judgment. But I said to my 27-year-old brain again, where were you 10 years ago when you convinced me to go play pinball all day? So I'm like, now I'm in the Marine Corps. I have a husband, kids, a mortgage, a dog. But I said, okay, I'll go back to school. I went back to school one class at a time. And, thankfully having a great support system, a great family, a great extended family. My mom's gonna kill me because she's at home and I didn't give her the live feed link. So I hope that is available once I get home. So that's when I realized that there is this service to others that's a part of me. And I went back to school while I was still working. And I realized that I had, I'm supposed to say here, in closing, I realized that I had an obligation to my family, but I also realized that my purpose, whether it was in or out of uniform, was service to others. So that is what my 40-year journey has taught me along the way, that my objective is to live life, I call it on purpose, And I encourage all of you to live life on a purpose. Now I'm going to say, lastly, the phrase, thank you for your service, is common. For many veterans, that phrase was non-existent. So I'm going to ask all of you that whether you know someone who's active duty, whether you know someone who's a veteran, whether you know someone who is a family member of a service member, whether they are a relative, what I'm going to ask you today is to say to them, thank you for your service, because for many veterans who served before me, they have never heard it. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Soon to be Dr. Yolanda Tanner. No, thank you very much for that speech. I think when we trying to build this culture of support for our students, understanding that determination is a big part of it. Individually, we can have the energy and the passion to pursue our own goals, but it is a key reminder to understand that to truly succeed, especially as a student, we need to get that support. We want you to understand that you're not alone. We're here to support you. We're trying to build the foundation to ensure that you meet these educational goals and foundation to get you to the next step in your personal and professional lives. So thank you very much for that very great message. Next, I'd like to introduce Tristan Hartley, who's currently serving as one of our San Diego City College mental health counselors. And I'll read also a short bio about Tristan. Tristan was raised in Dublin, Georgia, a small farming town. Tristan attended Georgia College and State University, obtaining a bachelor's degree in history with a concentration in historic preservation. At 25 years old, Tristan switched paths and enlisted as an aviation structural mechanic in the United States Navy. After 4 years, Tristan made the difficult decision to separate from the Navy to begin a new journey. And in March of 2019, Tristan got accepted into the University of San Diego's clinical counseling mental health program to pursue a dream of becoming a licensed therapist. Tristan graduated with a Master's of Arts in Clinical Counseling from the University of San Diego in May of 2021. As you remember, right in the middle of the pandemic. And Tristan currently works providing therapeutic support at a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer plus affirming private practice, and also at San Diego City College as a mental health counseling liaison for the nursing department and also the Pride Hub, one of the intercultural centers that's going to be reopening soon on campus. So please, let's give a warm welcome to Tristan.
Well, I had good morning, but it's afternoon now, so I'm a military man. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tristan Hartley. My pronouns are he, they, and I'm a proud transgender Navy veteran. And I'm going to tell you a little story about myself and share a little bit about me so you all can get to know me. So as a young kid, I remember sitting in hot Georgia summer rooms with my grandfather and my dad, just listening to them tell stories of their lives. You see, part of their journeys included military service time. And as a young historian and a therapist in the making, I was very interested in what made these men what I wanted to look up to, right? And the man that I wanted to be. I remember wondering, out of all the things that these guys have experienced, why do they always return to military stories? And it wasn't until after my time in the military that I really began to understand the depth of what it means to be a veteran. As I began the journey of adulting, I knew that ocean, ships, and military service were going to be a part of my life that would change me. And I set out on my journey to discover, grow, challenge, and lean into becoming the man I knew I was always brewing inside. Both of my grandfathers served in the military during World War II, and my father was drafted during Vietnam and served 8 years for the United States Air Force. My dad definitely carried many of the values that he learned in the military in his own life and instilled them in my family as well. He taught me discipline, integrity, honesty, and true strength, values that I'm honored to still spread today. I remember looking at my family and wanting to bring honor to my family's name, wanting to give something bigger than myself to the world and back to me, and wanting to taste the salt air of the deck of an aircraft carrier. I wanted to explore. I visited Hawaii for the first time around the age of 13, and I knew Pearl Harbor was there. And since a young age, this spot had really, for some reason, called out to me. I was so excited to go and visit and connect with this past that my grandparents had really told stories about, and I'm sure you all experienced from your own grandparents as well. I was able to tour the USS Missouri, the site of the surrender which ended World War II, and I remember walking up to the ship and really being overcome with the pure size of what a ship is like in person. And I was able to walk the deck of this immense vessel, and I stood in awe of some things, and these are really powerful. Tradition, emotional connection, and power. And what comes from being a veteran is really summed up in one word, and that's camaraderie. And when you're there, you can really feel that. I decided after graduating from Georgia College with all that fun historic stuff that being quiet and alone in a dark library, scrolling through hours of microfilm, that wasn't me, and I needed more in my life. And I decided to join the United States Navy at 25, mostly because I knew my mom would feel safer with me on a ship. I also wanted to be a sailor. And of course, I really loved the uniforms of the Navy because they're the best. Sorry, everybody else. And I would say that I definitely got the best job that anybody could get. I was an aviation structural mechanic. I worked on Boeing 737, so being at City and seeing them fly over is so really just nice for me. I also worked on H-60 Romeo helicopters. I traveled around the world. I laughed, I froze, I sweated, I got really angry at a lot of people. I was so humbled, honored, and what a privilege. As I reflect, I can imagine a lot of veterans can connect with knowing that part of my soul is still a part of the USS Roosevelt. And that's what it means to give yourself, not just to a country, not just to a group of workers, but to a group of folks that are bonded through experience. I can't speak to you about my journey without including the parts that I stand so proudly for, and that's my authenticity. When I was 3 years old, I remember wanting to wear boxers to bed with no shirt and being told, "You can't do that, you're a girl." It was at this age I realized that I was different from my sister. I was more like my brother, and yet I couldn't be. I knew I was transgender, and I kept that until myself, until I couldn't any longer. You see, as a transgender individual, I had to make a choice. Either to stay in the military and have safety, love, free health care, a solid retirement, and adventure every 4 years, or do I choose myself? And in 2016, I saw a tweet that forever changed my path, and I decided, with tears in my eyes, to leave a career that I loved and had worked so hard for. The transgender military ban forced myself into hiding. I had to live in fear, wondering if anyone found out, I might lose my benefits that I had really devoted countless hours and sacrificed a lot for. These fears kept me frozen, right? And however, the strength of the military shows up in this moment. It taught me many things, and one of those is to trust yourself, especially when you're under intense stress. And I did that. I trusted. I came out to close friends and family. It wasn't easy, and I did lose a lot of things. And also, it has been the most freeing, grounding, and aligning act of love that I have ever shown myself. I decided not to remain silent and celebrated along many other active duty, veterans, and dependent spouses when the transgender military was lifted earlier this year in January, or in 2021. And as a United States veteran, I'm honored to continue spreading the traditions passed along to me. I look forward to the continued progress towards true, equitable freedom in the military and in other powerful systems. I believe my story is only one of many who have come before me. Know that these stories don't fade with time. They continue in the form of coins, patches, shared beers, silly dancing in your shop, getting yelled at by a chief, who I know one is here, you know what I'm talking about, standing in formation and always someone's gonna pass out, and seeing that flag rise while you're standing at attention with your command and feeling chills rise up your body. These individual experiences make up a more powerful connection to being a veteran. So this is what tomorrow and every other day that I reflect on what meaning a veteran means to me. It means being around each other, sharing about our experiences, laughing, crying, sharing your medals, talking about your boot camp days, and being surrounded by true camaraderie. Again, I want to thank you all so much for your time, for your support, for your love, and for your dedication to myself and other service members. And hopefully you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all around.
Thank you, Tristan. Again, what another very powerful message, inspirational in terms of being true to yourself and the development of our own identity as we grow and continue through life. So thank you, Tristan. It's an honor to work with you. So again, let's thank our speakers for today for sharing part of their stories, as we are very lucky to have them as members of our City College family. Let's give them another round of applause, please. For our final speaker for today, we're going to hear from Darren Walters, who is currently serving as one of our counselors working with students from DSPS and also veterans. Darren also served for 20 years in the United States Air Force and will share about a program that we have here on campus titled Serving Students at City. Darren?
Hey everybody, good afternoon. It's been a while since I've been up in front of the crowd. This is way different than Zoom. President Shabazz, Vice Presidents, Deans, faculty, staff, students, and most importantly, my fellow brothers and sisters of the Armed Forces. Thank you for your service and attending today's event. It is an honor to be here with you today. For those of you who don't know me, like Adon mentioned, I did serve in the Air Force for 20 years. And since I retired from military service, I have found my next calling to serve students and student veterans with disabilities as a disability support programs and services counselor here at City College. I have too been in your shoes, coming back to school and having challenges with certain aspects of transitioning to civilian life. It's hard. Please know that we're here for you, to help you in the transition, and to help you succeed in your college journey and beyond. Last year, I had the honor of sharing my military journey and what Veterans Day means to me. Thank you to all of you who shared today, telling us your journey. This year, I am excited to talk to you about a new veterans group that Tristan Hartley and myself have been working on. That group is called Serving in the City, and we are essentially looking for fellow veterans, active duty, and dependents to gather, share, and uplift one another. The space was also created to provide information for VA benefits and to help connect our student veterans with appropriate services. The past 18+ months have been challenging, and our hopes with this group is to take the unknown out of the equation, be there for you, and help you in your journey into, through, and beyond the walls of City College. Our last meeting for the year will be on December 2nd at 1 p.m. Our hopes will be to continue the group in the new year and eventually have meetings in person down in the Veterans Center. And we'll bring food, right? Because those veterans will come if there's free food. Hope to see you all on December 2nd, and please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. My information is located on the City College DSPS homepage under Meet the City DSPS Team. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak today. It has been an honor and a privilege to not only serve my country, but to also serve our student veterans here at San Diego City College. Have a great day, and thank you again for your service.
Thank you, Darren and Tristan, for working on that program. Again, I want to thank you, all of you, in person and online, for joining us today to honor our veterans and also those who are currently serving. I hope you take, in addition to a celebration of honoring our veterans and active members, the messages that our speakers shared with all of you today, especially to our students. I think, it made me think about the work that we're doing and building, every day, especially as we're transitioning back to campus. Hopefully many of us have heard about the saying, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And I think about that quote because it makes me think about the own work that we're trying to do here at City, where we don't just want you to make lemonade, right? We want to help you and support you to build the foundation for you to not just build the lemonade, but actually build your own lemonade stand, where we give you and share with you, learn with you, and work with you in terms of building those tools and skills that you need to really build that foundation, to help you sustain and intentionally create a path towards your career. So don't just, make that lemonade, build that stand of, and make sure that your career, your futures, have the right foundation. So we really want to remind you to keep seeking out those support services, the resource that we have on campus, because we are here to serve you. We want to work with you to make sure that you succeed while at City, but also to have the foundation for where you move on from City. Okay, so thank you all for the students, especially who are here present and also watching online. Thank you, and we look forward to connecting with you in person. So as we want to wrap up this today's event, I want to close by sharing some words from Lori Oldham, who also really is the lead person behind this event, who serves as a student affairs coordinator. And she mentioned that we recognize, honor, and salute all of our veterans. We will forever be grateful for you and your family's sacrifices. You inspire and encourage us through your unselfishness, your courage, and your willingness to protect our freedom. Mere words are not enough to truly express our appreciation. Still, we sincerely thank you for your service. Again, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you all for everyone who worked behind the scenes for today's event, San Diego High School Color Guard, our speakers, and really the multiple departments here at City College to make this event successful, both in person and online. So we really, really appreciate it. Again, this concludes today's program. Thank you all again very much for coming. And for those of you who are staying or who are here in person, we do have lunch. We have lunch boxes for all of you. So please, we're going to ask the students to join us there first, please. And then again, that wraps up today. Thank you very much.